Hi, my name's Matt Widgery from mattwidgery.com. In today's episode, we're going to be having a look at a camera bag. This is the Tamrac Apache 6.2. So, Tamrac have been in the business for a hell of a long time. Certainly as a kid growing up, the sort of go-to make in those days, certainly where I am here in the UK, was definitely Tamrac. That was the bag that everybody had. And this is very much a bag that is focused on bringing back some of that heritage feel to it. It is a waxed canvas finish and comes in this rather nice and stylish brown cover. It's a messenger bag. It's a shoulder bag with a strap that goes over that you can throw over to one side. And that is definitely my preferred style of bag. I'm really not so much of a fan of the backpacks because they're out at the back and then it's all right if you're climbing up a mountain, but for the rest of the time, you're just a pain in the arse to everybody around you as you sort of wedge them around the place because you forget it's there and you knock things over and you push into old ladies and you knock babies out of the arms of their mothers and all that sort of stuff. And they're generally antisocial. So I actually think these are much nicer because you can kind of swing them around to the side. You can have a little hold of them and make sure you're not going to knock stuff over or push into people, which is better. But also, if you've got a camera bag that is on your back, as soon as you want to take a photo, you have to kind of stop what you're doing, kind of disentangle yourself from it. And only then can you get to your camera gear to get it out to actually take a bloody picture. So the nice thing about these is that you can open them up and then get the stuff out without really breaking stride. So that's what it is. Let's have a little bit of a closer look though and see some of the features that Tamrac have included in this bag. So first off, this is the biggest of the three. What they actually claim in this is that you'll be able to fit an iPad Pro, as well as your cameras and stuff, an iPad Pro or a small 11-inch, like a MacBook Air or 11-inch computer into the bag as well. So if we have a little look in this, I was actually able to discover something pretty surprising. And that is that not only will it fit the iPad, it's just a standard size iPad, the 9.7 inch, it would easily accommodate a Pro. I also tried it with the 11-inch sort of convertible Windows tablet computer thing I have here, and that fitted fine, but also the 13-inch MacBook Pro also fitted into the bag too. And that to me is tremendously important because when I'm out in the field, if I'm doing a lot of video and photo editing work, a MacBook Air just ain't going to cut it a lot of the time. I need something with a little bit more horsepower. And so the fact that it can take the MacBook Pro 13-inch is tremendous for me and actually really levels this game up as being something that I could use every day. So that was enormous for me. I don't know why they don't include that in the specs. If you actually have a look at tamrac.com, it actually says what fits. And it will say on here, tablets and 11-inch computers. But, Tamrac, you are selling yourself short because the really much more useful MacBook Pro 13-inch will fit, and probably others as well in that same category. Have a look at what the specs are online for the MacBook Pro 13-inch, and then if you've got an equivalent Windows machine that fits those same dimensions, then there's a fighting chance it's going to fit into this nice padded pocket at the back. The padding actually is something that's very good on this. You've got padding in the lid here. You've got padding in the front and rear compartments, and the little divider things that are pretty standard, I guess, that come with all these bags also have a fair amount of heft to them. You get the sense, and the Velcro is quite strong too, you get the sense that would be able to take a pretty decent knock before it started to encroach on the safety of your gear. And that's really important because you just don't know what's going to happen when you're out and about. It's the easiest thing in the world to just knock a camera bag off a doorpost or something like that, and you really don't want your gear getting damaged. There are plenty of dividers in here, and the other thing I really liked about this Tamrac bag is that they've made the entire sides of the bag Velcro, unlike in my Billingham. I love my Billingham dearly, but there's only certain there's like a strip of Velcro that you can attach things onto. It doesn't go all the way around. You have to kind of put it into these very specific locations. With these, you can pretty much custom the inside of the bag to whatever you want, and that is really nice indeed. In terms of how much you can fit into the bag, well, let's see what I've got in here now. Although, bearing in mind that whenever we see these sort of gear reviews about what you can fit inside a particular bag, it always feels slightly more like how many people you can fit in a phone box than anything sensible. So I'm not necessarily suggesting that you could or should carry this every day into the field. It might be a little bit claustrophobic for your gear in there. You don't want things really sort of mashing together. But nevertheless, just to give you an idea of the volume that's inside the bag, in here we've got a Fuji 35mm 1.4. We've got a Yongnuo flash unit in there. That's the same as any of the sort of large flash units that you'd get from, Nikon or Sony or Canon or any of those people. We've got one XT1 in there, and we've got buried in here as well another XT1. And we've also got the 18 to 135. Both of the XT1s have lenses on there as well, so they've fitted there's a 23mm and a 56mm on there as well. So really quite spacious. That's two, sort of decent sized mirrorless bodies. They're not the smallest mirrorless bodies on the market by any stretch, but there we are. That's two of those with lenses already on them, and another couple of lenses as well. And a flash unit. So that's the sort of capacity that you're going to be able to fit into this bag. It is a small bag. This is not a tremendously big bag. It doesn't really feel, in terms of the dimensions of it, that much bigger than, say, an A4 bit of paper or something, but maybe slightly bigger than that. But it is very, very compact, and it does feel compact when it's on your shoulder as well. And also the fact that it's pretty squishy. This way and tapers in towards the body means that it doesn't really stick out too much. I use this as my bag to go down and shoot that video that you saw, the latest video that was up on the channel. It was down in London the other day at the Societies of Photographers convention, and it was pretty packed in there. So there were a lot of people sort of heaving and milling around, and I was able to weave in and out of the fairly dense crowds without annoying too many people and knocking them over. So that's very good. Now, the other thing that is a really nice feature on this bag, you've got Velcro on here for security, if you to keep the bag flat from opening up. But as we all know, Velcro can be literally the worst thing in the world if you're trying to shoot in stealth mode. And so what they've cleverly done is they've got these things called sound silencer flaps, and they're very proud of them, even to the extent where the kind of little tickets that come with the bag, one of them is just for that. You've got a little sort of, I don't know if you can see that. It's got little kind of like mute button on it. So, when the idea is that when these flaps are open like this, the Velcro is actually is hidden away, and so it doesn't make the rasping noise. If you then fold this bit out and then stick it under there, then that's the Velcro that will fit on the other side and then make the thing stick. So if you want it in non-silent mode, you can do that, and then when the Velcro will take and does that, and then in silent mode, it's silent. Isn't that amazing? So that's rather cool. And when it is in silent mode and a gust of wind takes it and tries to flap it up there, don't worry, you still have a nice, sort of solid little clip. It is plastic, but it feels very solid. It's a nice sort of positive click there, and doesn't feel like that flimsy sort of plastic that's going to break any too quickly either. And in terms of build quality of the rest of the bag, it's really nice. The detailing of the stitching is superb. The quality of the canvas seems very nice, and it does have, genuine YKK zips on there as well. So the zips never feel like they're going to get, caught out and the teeth start to come apart. It all feels very, very solid. You've got a nice wide strap, and it also has this proper good shoulder pad on it as well, which is tremendously padded and comfortable. And even when you've got quite a lot of heavy gear in there and you have it on your back all day, and I've been trying to sort of, test this as much as possible, putting heavy stuff in and seeing if it's comfortable. And I was unable to make this, not feel right on my shoulder at all. And because it just slides up and down so easily, you can always easily get this shoulder pad to exactly where your shoulder is. You never have that problem with it kind of having slipped round a bit, and then you can't really kind of find it or easily move it without threading a load of stuff around. So that I really liked. Because it is this treated canvas, the material itself is wonderfully waterproof. The water just beads up on top of there and flows straight off. So that is fantastic. I don't know whether every now and again you may have to treat that with something every few years, just put a new coat of something. I think I probably would if it was mine, because that stuff will inevitably wear off to a certain extent as time goes on, and a coat of the kind of stuff that you put on, I don't know, barber jackets or something would probably help you out every 3 to 5 years. I've not actually looked at the manufacturer's recommendations on that, but that's certainly a good recommendation if you've got any of this waxed canvas stuff. But in terms of weatherproofing, I did find something which could potentially be a bit of a weak link in the chain. When you open up the flap, the way that the bag works is that you've got these sort of flaps that are supposed to go over the sides there, like this, so that when the bag is shut, the water can't ingress into the bag and pour itself all over your camera gear or laptop or whatever that's in there. But I did find that quite often these flaps were sort of getting themselves folded outside a little bit like that, quite without me noticing. And then what happens is that you shut the bag and you do then have these holes that will go down into the bag and will soak the gear that's in there. They're quite big holes. I mean, as you can see, you can definitely get a couple of fingers in there. And that ain't no good if you've got a few grand's worth of really expensive kit, or you're on your way to a client job and the rain starts pouring down and your cameras get soggy and water laden. So it's something to bear in mind if you are going to sort of use this bag in the rainstorm. Make sure these are folded in. However, it's not the end of the world, because Tamrac, in their infinite wisdom, have provided you with a decent rain cover. So you can actually, when the rain starts to fall, take out the little rain cover thing and then just wrap that over the entire bag and stop the water getting in there. And I think that would be their recommendation, that if it does start to rain, just take this out. So, so long as you remember to keep this with you, you'll be all right. But if you've left that at home and it does start chucking it down, then, you may find an issue with these side bits. As for storage, in terms of you've got obviously the main compartment in there. You've seen what will fit in there. There are lots of other little kind of cubby holes and little nooks and crannies in here, which are tremendously useful. In the front of the bag here, there's a big kind of flap, which I found was brilliant when I had the 13-inch MacBook or the 11-inch computer in there, both of which take an external power lead, of course. I was able to put the power lead in the front there. There are also little pockets in the front here, which are really useful for putting business cards, memory cards, batteries, that sort of thing in. And then on the inside of that flap is a zipped compartment, which is a decent enough size that you could fit, a wallet, a passport, a mobile phone, that sort of stuff, if you were going away for a little bit longer and wanted to keep things safe and secure. On the other side, you've got a nice little clear wallet thing there, so you can put your name and address in there, so that if you do lose the bag, somebody can return it to you. And on the flap on the outside, you have this, again, capacious wallet in the front, which would fit easily a passport or a mobile phone or a map, that sort of thing. So, things that you wanted to access pretty quickly in the field, it might be batteries or something that you wanted quick access to, you would certainly be able to get them in there, or, you could fit some filters in there, or, I don't know, whatever. You can choose, of course, what you fit inside the bag. I've been using this thing as my daily driver since they sent it to me, and I can honestly say that it is a very useful bag indeed. It is very lightweight on its own, and so it doesn't add a lot to your to your shoulder when you're carrying it around, unlike the Billingham bag, which, even without anything in it, feels like you're hauling a buffalo on your back. It's ridiculously heavy. This was very nice and small and compact. If you like the brown colour, that's excellent. It does look very nice in brown. I like it in brown, but if you didn't, then you can't have it in any other colours. This is the one that you get. But it's a lovely, rich, chocolatey colour, and it just looks quality, and it feels quality. And when people see you out with it, it looks stylish, and it's the kind of bag that you wouldn't necessarily have to use just as a camera bag. It would be smart enough if you wanted to, take it to a meeting, or just sort of out and around as your daily carry. This would certainly do the job. So that's it. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, please subscribe and like the video and leave comments underneath, because that's how YouTube's algorithms know that my stuff is worth showing to other people in that nice little suggested feed thing on the side of YouTube. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers.